go to the beach, eat, let's go get a wave. They say what they gonna say. Have a drink, clink, found a Bud Light. Bad like me, it's hard to come by. The Patron, let's go get it down. The sound, yes, I'm in the zone. Is it 2, 3? Leave a good tip. I'ma blow all my money and don't give two. I'm on the floor, floor. I love to dance, so give me more.
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint, another step, another day, another breath. Been chasing dreams, but I never slept. I got a new attitude and a lease on life is a peace of mind. Seeking to find I can sleep when I die. Want a piece of the pie, got the keys to the ride and shit. I'm straight. I'm on my way. Get up my way. I'm running late. What can I say? I heard you died twice. Once when they bury you in the grave, and the second time is the last time that somebody mentions your name. So when I leave here on this earth, did I take more than I gave? Did I look out for the people, or did I do it all for fame? Legend is Exodus, searching for euphoria, judging through the mud to find the present, no ignoring. I got 20,000 deep off in the street like we some warriors. My mama told me never bow your head. Whoa.
I feel glorious, glorious. Got a chance to start again. I was born for this, born for this. It's who I am, how could I forget? I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious. I feel glorious.
What's up YouTube? Today we're going to do a vlog and talk about two different countries in Asia. First is Singapore and second is Kiribati. So let's start with Singapore. Singapore is a growing and booming country in Southeast Asia, while Kiribati is a drowning paradise in the South Pacific. So let's first tackle about their tourism statistics. So first for Kiribati, there has been an infancy of growth when it comes to their tourism arrivals. For example, from 2014 to 2018, they only had 5,000 to 5,800 tourist arrivals, which means that was about 1.75 to 2.2% of change, while Singapore has been receiving a huge amount of tourist arrivals from 2014 to 2018, from 15 million to 18 million tourist arrivals, which is approximately about 7.7 to 8.2% of change per year. So clearly on the tourism statistics, they are been completely different. So for transportation in Kiribati, the country's transportation is very essential to their economic growth, meaning they are currently depending and relying on those transportation modes to have the funds and the economic growth that they have been longing for a long time. So what are the transportations they have? They only have trucks, they only have police trucks, they only have minivans, motorcycles, bicycles, and mini planes to travel. Firstly, trucks. Imagine yourself riding on a truck and taking a stroll in the country. Probably you will not enjoy it, and maybe because of the weather, and then maybe when it rains you'll get wet, and then I think that is not a good way to travel. And since Kiribati has a lot of islands to choose on, it's like an island hopping, so wherein tourists can use boats and mini planes to travel from one place to another. Sadly, sometimes they are using their police trucks just to travel tourists. That's how poor and sad the country is right now, but the country has a lot of resources and potential which can be developed for the years to come. And for Singapore has a massive load of transportation and gives ease to their tourists by having the means of trains, having the means of buses, taxis, and the Grab application is currently booming up in Singapore, where it's originated, and river taxis. So they also have bicycles for rent in there, because in Singapore it is a green city. Green city meaning every street, every road every village, you can see trees all over the country, which gives them a breathable air, and then wherein you can enjoy the activity of bicycle. And their transportation has been their stronghold because they can transport their tourists to their different destinations with the means of trains, by the means of buses. So for Singapore, the transportation isn't that hard to find and then hard to use. They give their tourists a one-of-a-kind experience when it comes to transportation. So now let's move on to the tourist destinations of the countries, and let's first start with Singapore. The destinations that I will mention will be suitable for the different kinds of tourists, such as honeymooners, senior citizens, those who are having occasional trips, corporate groups, and families who are having their quality time outside the country. So first, let's start with the Singapore's iconic park, the Merlion Park. This park symbolizes the Singapore's humble beginnings, wherein you can see there the statue of a merlion, and this is where tourists have their iconic selfie with the merlion statue, opening their mouths, pointing toward the water that comes from the merlion statue. Next is the Gardens by the Bay. The Gardens by the Bay tries to replicate the dry Mediterranean climates found across the world. They have three sky gardens, which is Bay South, Bay East, and Bay Central. In this park, you can see a lot of lights, you can see a lot of beautiful plants and trees and flowers, wherein you can enjoy the beautiful scenery of the green city. Next is the world's first nocturnal wildlife park, which is the Night Safari Singapore. This is one of a kind world's first nocturnal wildlife park, wherein it has close to 100 species on a 35-hectare land, containing 900 animals, and 40% of them are the threatened animal species, and they're currently having millions of tourist visitors annually, so which means it is very interesting, and the park allows you to experience and open your eyes with how the animals and reptile species and on how they behave and live at night. So because normally zoos are being opened by the daytime, so here at this park they're open at nighttime, wherein you can see how animals behave at night. So let's hop on to the top tourist destinations that Kiribati has to offer. So first on the list is the Christmas Island, or also known as the Kiribati Island, where it homes the world's largest coral area, wherein tourists can enjoy scuba diving, snorkeling, and any other underwater activities that they have in there. So another one that you can do in the island is bird watching, because it is considered as one of the best bird watching destinations in the world, wherein many seabirds have come there to meet and nest all throughout the year, which made the tourists to experience different bird watching package in a whole new level. So next is the Fanning Islands. The Fanning Islands is the most visited island in the country, wherein the tourists can enjoy and have the opportunity to see and take a glimpse on how the locals live in there, how the locals preserve the place, and how the locals make use of the resources that they have, and on how the locals make for a living. And next is, for me, this one is the best, is the outer islands, because the outer islands of Kiribati are not all explored yet. Basing on the pictures, I can see that there are a lot of potential of the islands, and the islands are really beautiful. So we may not know that there are a lot of things that the island has to offer, which means that we may see different species, we see different animals, different coral reefs, and all the different activities and cultural activities that we can do on the said island. So as the year passed by, I hope that it gets be discovered and explored, so that it may help the economic growth for the country Kiribati. So I believe the outer islands has a lot of potential and a lot of things that are very hidden that the world hasn't yet to discover. This is to wrap up my vlog about Singapore and Kiribati, and obviously they are totally different in every aspect, such as lifestyle, economics, and tourist destinations to offer. But for me, Singapore has a lot of strongholds, such as them for being an island for feasting. An island for feasting in a sense that the food selection there is very great. The prices are very cheap, and if you want to try the whole Asian food cuisines in a whole new different level, you must try and go to Singapore. And second, it is because that Singapore is a green city. The country homes for a lot of trees, tons of plants and flowers, wherein tourists can enjoy and realize how good our nature is. And third one is because of its shopping spree. All the luxurious brands, gadgets, cars, almost everything that is luxurious can be seen in Singapore. So if you wanna experience luxury of life, Singapore is a place to be. While on the other hand, Kiribati is a country that needs more attention because the country is literally drowning. The islands are endangered of getting drawn out of the map, and then it needs a lot of attention so that people can have the opportunity to save the country and to save the island. And for me, it's worth the risk of coming to Kiribati, because we are not just going to Kiribati to enjoy ourselves, but we are also going to help their economic aspect, to give them the funds and give them the manpower, to give them the strength to rebuild and develop this beautiful island. And